about it now since you brought it up. Mentorship. So obviously, I guess you use it.
Yes,
Um, and you believe it's effective.
super effective. I think
Right. So Wishville. All right. So how do you feel about the people that charge
I
for
think
mentorship?
I think it's valid, but on that same topic of I don't. So to answer your question simply, I don't think there's anything wrong with charging.
Yeah.
I think the real question is, how do you know that it's worth paying somebody? How do you identify that someone is worth paying to get mentorship? And the way that I've figured out how to navigate that is you look at the type of value they bring without pay. So for example, I follow people again like Earn Your Leisure, Aristotle Investments, Wall Street Trapper, Him 500. There's all these guys I follow. And the reason why I follow and believe in them is because every week, consistently, they're doing hour, 2 hours, 3 hours worth of content, giving you actual valuable information that they could be charging for. So I look at it as when somebody's willing to give you free value, but then they want to charge you for the nitty gritty, like the handling. So they're going to show you, okay, these are some stocks you can invest in, whatever, surface level, give you an understanding of the market. Cool. What you're paying for is that focus expertise. Because now, yeah, you could say, okay, invest in Apple, it's good. But now you need to pay to understand why you're investing in Apple. How do you evaluate a company? How do you do this, do that? So I think mentorship is very important. And I think it is, put it this way, everybody I follow that are multimillionaires spend 6 figures on mentorship every year. And that's a fact. Like if you follow any of these guys, they'll tell you they spend 100K plus on masterminds, mentorships, conferences, all of these places to get in these rooms with the people that can actually make a difference in what it is they're trying to do.
So speaking of that, I have one more question about mentorship. But I follow a guy named Michael J. McDonald.
Yes.
And I randomly follow because he just has some good perspective of life. And one day I see them hear you up one day.
Yes.
So they're like, how did that connection come about?
Shout out to Michael J. McDonald.
Yeah.
For all those that don't, Michael J. McDonald is one of the co-founders of the Earn Your Leisure brand.
Yeah.
He's the behind the scenes guy, operations guy.
Yeah.
So if it's time for a story time, I could probably make it maybe like a 5-6 minute story.
Yo, you have time, bro.
Okay, so circling back to why I started this whole thing, inspired by Earn Your Leisure, went to one of their events.
Yeah.
And, you know, they brought the city out back-to-back sold out shows. And I happened to see a guy that was with them that I didn't recognize. But I was like, he's with them though, but I've never seen him on their show or anything. So, and he has like a Toronto vibe. So I'm like, okay, I kept that in my mind. It's very observant. So I'll give your audience a hack. I think I'm actually going to write a book with some of these principles actually. So that's coming, but I'll give them this hack. So I went to this event and I was seeing all these Black people from the community in the room talking about this guy owns a law practice. This guy owns a plumbing company. This guy owns a construction company. I'm like, who are all these people? So I leave the event and I go home. I go on Instagram and I search for anybody that made a post about that event. I went onto their page and their stories to see what it is they do. And then when I identified, oh, this guy owns a development company, dope. Let me follow him. This person. So I start to follow all these people and I started engaging on their platform so that they keep seeing the Black Wealth Collective. You know, on Instagram, you're going to keep seeing the Black Wealth Collective, liked your post, the Black Wealth Collective. So this is a hack for people in terms of networking. So I was doing this with M5V Developments, Priscilla, and a few other people that I identified in the city that were like really doing things. And I also had great content and great value. So it wasn't just like something for myself. It was like actually genuinely like, yo, these people are doing their thing. I want to know more. So anyways, shorten up the story a bit. I happen to, Earn Your Leisure comes back to Toronto to do a brunch. And me, I'm very intentional. So now I have this brand. So in my mind, I'm like, I want earn your leisure to be aware of my brand. So I made sure to have a whole bunch of t-shirts and hoodies made. I had met them one time, asked everybody their size. So this is just stuff you do when you want to be intentional with stuff. So I go to this brunch now with EYL. I pull up to the brunch and I see Michael's there, Rashad, like all of their friends from Atlanta, like basically pure M's in the building, right? But again, I don't go in, I'm not asking for nothing. And I happen to see Priscilla, who I happened to meet at another event, and she's like, she saw this and she's like, oh, I know who you are. I always like my post. Nice to meet you. I'm Thompson. So build a rapport or whatever. So I'm at this event and I see her, and now she's also affiliated with M5E, with Sherrard, because they work together, but I'd never met him before. So again, I'd say hi to her, obviously to be courteous and to make sure you keep your connection strong. And then he sees me and he's like, hey, how you doing? I like introduce myself, like, yeah, I'm always watching your content or whatever, sharing your stuff. And he's like looking, and he's like, sees this, he's like, oh, I know who you are. I just see you there. That's me. So he's like, yo, I have somebody you need to meet. Yeah. He walks me over to Michael McDonald.
Oh, that's big, bro.
So he walks me over and he's like, yo, this guy in the city's always showing love. He has this dope merch, and you need to talk to him, whatever. So now I'm talking to Michael, and he's like, yeah, the merch is dope. He's like, so do you have any with you? And I'm like, I do, but it's in my car. I have some stuff for everybody because I was planning to give it to everybody at the meet and greet tomorrow. Yeah. And he's like, there's no tomorrow. He's like, there's no tomorrow, because I was planning to do it tomorrow. He's like, there's no tomorrow. He's like, look, Rashad is there, Ian's there, this person. I was like, you have over probably 10 million people worth of influence right here, and you don't have your stuff. And I go, okay. I was like, no, you're right. And again, this is another lesson in ego, emotion, and things like this. I took my ego out of it completely. I wasn't offended by it. I didn't feel like he was trying to get at me. I listened, because here's someone that's where I want to be. Yeah. Right. And that's something we have to recognize. Like when there's somebody that's where you want to be, you have to listen sometimes. You have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Yeah, so you should be listening twice as hard as you talk. Say less, do more. Yeah. So anyway, so I said, okay, yeah, cool. It was nice meeting you. I go walk 8 blocks in the rain to my car. I already had everything backed up, because remember, I had this in my plan. So from April, I had in my mind, I'm going to meet these guys again. So that's manifestation, intentionality. So from April, I knew I'm going to meet these guys again, and I'm going to get my merch in their hands. Walk the 8 blocks one way, all the bags, bring it back up to the rooftop. And then I start, hey, man, what's up? Just handing out to the guys like, oh, nice to meet you. Because this whole time I haven't interrupted them, nothing. I was just like, not to interrupt you, but I have this for you.
Don't mean to cut you off. When you have your brand in your hand, that's the easiest way in. Easiest way to say hi.
Yep, exactly. So
go ahead,
hand it out to everybody, and they're like, okay, thanks, appreciate it, whatever. And I see Michael looking from across the room. So he's kind of looking like, oh, so this guy's straight acid. Like I told him he should be doing something, and he didn't hesitate, didn't try to make an excuse about it. He just took in what I said and then right away did something. So within that same hour, I leave there. My phone starts blowing up like 20 minutes after I leave the spot. Yo, we're over at this spot and we see 19 Keys has your hoodie on. I'm like, oh, okay, dope. And then I get a DM from Michael, and he's sending me pictures with 19 Keys wearing the hoodie. So I'm like, okay, that's dope. Appreciate it or whatever. So basically the point of the story is I was willing to listen to what he had to say. I was willing to take action immediately on what he had to say. And through that action, it put my merch on someone with over 1 million followers on Instagram. So immediately put my merch in front of 1 million people just from those 2 things. And then he basically DM'd me to show this is the proof that if you listen and take action and don't waste time, this is what can happen. Next day, more people start messaging me, yo, Rashad's wearing your hoodie on Market Mondays. Again, that's a show that gets over, 300,000 views, and they have over 2 million followers. So this is how that whole thing starts with me and Michael. So from then, every time I see him, it's always love.